The infamous dish soap story came up again at the South by Southwest panel from Duchess Meghan Markle. But this time it was from Katie Couric who triggered it. Was she told to ask, or was she trolling? Also, for those of you who don't know, the story is complete nonsense. Welcome to Popcorn Palace. I am Andy Signor, and so much to report regarding her South by Southwest appearance. And I'm so happy that we have Sue Smith back. How are you doing, Sue?
Hey, Andy, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. You're looking great. I'm happy you're back, and I'm so happy you're here to help fact check this ridiculous story. A lot's been coming in and out as the interview has been sitting over the weekend, and we've been digging in deeper. And yeah, even I missed this the first time because you guys all educate me. But the dish soap story, I'd heard it before, of course. I just didn't know how egregious it actually was. Before we get there, let's watch this clip in question. You ready, guys? Here it is from South by Southwest.
Meghan, will you tell the story about when you wrote that letter to P&G?
That's Katie Couric smiling. Meghan, will you tell that story? This is a story she's told so many times to pump herself up. But here's Katie asking.
I don't know if everyone's heard it, but it's such a great story. At a very young age, what you did.
I was 11 years old, about 11 years old, and I'd seen a commercial on TV for a dishwashing liquid, and the boys in my class at the time said, it said, women all over America are fighting greasy pots and pans. And the boys said, yeah, that's where women belong, in the kitchen. And
I don't believe the boys said that either also, but let's continue.
At 11, I just found that
she forgot what age it was. She literally says 11 100 million times every time she tells a story.
Infuriating, and wrote lots of letters and put pen to paper, and they ended up changing the commercial to people all over America. And it's funny to look back at it now because that was before social media, where you had a reach that was so much greater. It was just an 11-year-old with a pen and paper.
It was just her, guys. No one else involved. Just one 11-year-old who realized this was bad and put pen to paper, found those addresses. No, she didn't. Wrote those letters. Yeah, she was. We'll explain more.
But it just, I guess, goes to show that if you know that there's something wrong and you're using your voice to advocate in the direction of what is right, that can really land and resonate and make huge change for a lot of people. So your voice is not small. It just needs to be heard.
Well, my voice is here, Sue, and I know yours is here to call out this wench because, Meghan, you're full of doo-doo. You are so full of doo-doo, and you're hoping that we won't tell you you're trying to censor us. Sue, she wants to censor. How dare you as a woman talk down to another woman? Sue, how can you sleep at night?
Can I just say that at one point during this thing that she was at, just not to get off topic, but she made the comment that these women can say these horrible things about other women, and I just don't understand. And yet it's the Sussex squad that has been saying horrible things about Catherine while she has been out for surgery. She had the perfect opportunity to open her mouth and say something, and she didn't. And she's well aware of the Sussex squad, and she doesn't say anything because I think she likes the fact that they attack on her behalf. That's just my personal opinion.
100 million%. She's like, yes, ooh, my minions. She's like, Gru, my minions. All right, but let's break this down, Sue. Let's fact check this. Let's get this debunked. Okay, you ready? We are going to debunk this crap because she keeps trying to take credit for the story and there she is, 11-year-old Meghan making a change. And when you watch this video, it's very easy to be tricked in. Here's Nickelodeon News breaking it down.
It's the first time little Meghan Markle was on TV, and she was a firecracker even at age 11.
I don't think it's right for kids to grow up thinking these things, that just mom does everything.
For a social studies assignment way back in elementary school in Los Angeles,
even this, at least, is honest for a social studies assignment. This was a class assignment.
Project, yes.
This was not a Meghan Markle decided to do this. This was a project in class where they were looking at things. So clearly the teacher brought this up, not Meghan.
Meghan and her classmates were asked to watch some commercials and assess their messages.
Recommended by more doctors, pharmacists, and Dr. Mom.
It's always mom does this and mom does that.
In particular, a commercial for Ivory dishwashing liquid caught her attention because it used the word women.
Women are fighting greasy pots and pans.
And I said, wait a minute, how could somebody say that?
Even back then, Meghan struck everyone with her easy charm and...
Yeah, she has such easy charm. Look, I don't like making fun of 11-year-olds, but she's an adult now. And she put this out there. And this whole shoot, guys, was staged by her father. So while
Yes.
you're watching this puff piece hyping up Meghan, the reality is this whole thing was her dad, and kudos to her dad, trying to empower her daughter to feel more special, feel more powerful. And as we've learned now that this story was nonsense, Tom Bauer in his book Revenge, which Sue has this excerpt from, which we're going to read, breaks down the truth of what actually happened. So Sue, I don't want to keep watching this crap. Let's read what Tom Bauer said to get to the truth.
Well, I don't want to get you a copyright strike. So let me just get you the gist of this. Here's what happened.
Oh, you can read. It's fine. Read a little bit of it. All right,
Is it
whatever.
okay?
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
okay?
I don't think
I don't wanna
he'll
get you in
ding
trouble.
us. I think
don't wanna get
it's
you
just
in
a paragraph. We're allowed to read a paragraph. Here we go.
All right. It says
Story time with Sue Smith. Continue.
Here we go. Thomas Markle knew that thousands of American women were as annoyed as Meghan was. Many had sent protests to Procter Gamble, but with her father's encouragement, Meghan joined at the bandwagon. She wrote to Procter Gamble chairman, and she also wrote to Hillary Clinton, the first lady. And like other protesters, she urged the slogan should be changed to people all over America. After receiving no reply, Thomas wrote follow-up letters demanding that the corporation and Clinton acknowledge his daughter. Nothing happened. Using his contacts, Thomas arranged for Linda Ellerby, who was a host on Nickelodeon, which was a TV channel run by Lucky Ducky Productions, to report Meghan's protest at her school. Seeing herself interviewed on the broadcast, accompanied by a reenactment clip of her writing to Clinton, boosted her self-confidence. And weeks later, Procter & Gamble bowed to the thousands of protests and changed the advertiser's strapline. Though Thomas knew that Meghan's letter had not influenced the executive's decisions, there was no evidence the letter had even been read. He encouraged her conviction that the change was her personal victory. So essentially, she was one of thousands of letters. We don't even know if Procter & Gamble even read her letter. She never got a response from Procter & Gamble. She never got a response from Hillary Clinton. But Thomas Markle is partly responsible for the monster that Meghan has become, because he let her believe a lie that she was personally, what 11-year-old changed an entire commercial. That is not what happened. And the only reason that this thing was done with Nickelodeon was because her father was an award-winning lighting director.
Well, let's take a moment. I want to take a moment to pause there because there's so much to unpack there, because here is her father doing this. Now, right or wrong, you're saying it created a monster. This is a loving father. Look at the photo on the desk of her with her father.
With her dad.
Her dad is encouraging her to be the woman. And this woman now is using this story as an adult. Now it's defined her, right? This is her father's doing, right? Now remind me, Sue, this is the father that she constantly checks in on when he's sick, right? This is the father that she had walked down the aisle with, right? This is the father that she's never left and always support, right? Right now, this is the father she's completely abandoned, right, Sue?
This is the hypocrisy again, just like when Harry sat on that ski slope and said, well, sickness pulls families together. My jaw dropped because I'm thinking, well, gee, Meghan's father has had like 2 heart attacks and a stroke, and she's never even bothered to call and check on him. So it's, again, she's one of these people, she uses you.
But Harry's racist grandfather, he's flying down to see him.
There you go.
But Thomas Markle did a couple photo ops to pay the bills during the wedding, and you're dead to me,
Thomas
Dad.
Markle doesn't have millions or a worldwide platform to offer her, so she's not interested. She's gotten everything from that man she can get.
I just need to rant. This woman is letting her husband visit the alleged racist dad, but Meghan refuses to engage with her father, who literally created the person she is today, who literally was there empowering her as a strong young woman to fight for the rights of female equality, who was there. Where's her mom? We don't know, but she hasn't been around. But her dad was there. Her dad then was the one actually writing the letters, planning this in her head, following up. like the tooth fairy, whatever else thing you think. This dad's doing so much, and she kicked him to the curb.
Her father is the one who raised her. Doria wasn't around for years. We know the Netflix show. She tried to make it sound like Doria raised her. Doria said it takes a village. Well, it did take a village because Doria wasn't around. It was Thomas Markle. Samantha Markle used to pick her up and drive her to school every day. There was a family taking care of Meghan Markle, but it wasn't Doria. It was Thomas Markle. He did everything for her. And just like when she puts out these tweets about, we ate at the all-you-can-eat salad bar. All you have to do is go back into the TIG where she's gushing about her dad and eating at the, the steak houses and her tap lessons and her ballet lessons. She had a charmed life growing up. She wants you to think she had it hard for some reason. Even this project was done at a private school, the Little Red House, I think it was called, where the tuition was like $20,000-$30,000 a year that her father paid for. And she also tried to tell people she was a latchkey kid, which also was untrue. Her father used to pick her up after school. If she didn't go with her best friend, I think her name was Nikki Pretty. I'm not sure if that's right, but if she didn't go home with her, her father used to have a limo pick her up and take her to the set to do her homework. She was never a latchkey kid. For some reason, she wants to rewrite her history. But this story, what ended up happening was Vanity Fair did a story on Meghan, and they left the P&G story out because it couldn't be verified. Meghan was absolutely livid that they didn't put her P&G story in there. She was absolutely. So
just to, again, I want to hear, but I want to reiterate these important parts. So it's not just Tim Bauer's book. No. Vanity Fair, who's notoriously more pro Meghan and wrote a puff piece on Meghan, had to remove the story from their puff piece because they couldn't verify any of it. And it's true. Where's this letter from Hillary Clinton? You'd think that would be saved, right? Where are these documents?
If I got a letter from the president's wife, I'd frame it. I'd keep it. And not to mention, I do believe because she was first lady, there are archives for everything that Hillary Clinton sent out. There should be a copy of it somewhere. But they took it out because Vanity Fair said it was inaccurate. They consulted Procter Gamble. They consulted the advertising historians. They could not prove the story. So they decided not to put it in because they're looking for journalistic integrity, which is something that other people don't have. And
then to make it even more fascinating, when the Vanity Fair article pulled it, the journalist recalls how Meghan hated the coverage because even though it was a puff piece, because they removed it. She was allegedly furious that her battle with P&G was omitted. She resisted revealing that Vanity Fair's fact checkers had raised questions about its accuracy, and after consulting P&G and advertising historians, I concluded they could not prove the story. But yet, here we are, right? Here we are, still using it to this day after completely cutting off her dad, who's dead to her, everything else. She is peddling this story in her rebrand. It is sickening. Go ahead, Sue.
I was just going to say, this entire thing was invented by her dad. She was one of thousands of letters, but for some reason, her father wanted her to believe that, I'm all for bolstering kids and your voice can make a difference. But to allow her to think that this one letter that she wrote was the thing that changed, the course of this commercial. Not to mention, remember, this is back, even Meghan said, this is back before social media. You couldn't make a commercial in 30 days. It didn't work that way. So she wrote this letter, and apparently the new commercial was out 30 days later. It doesn't work that way. And the way they had to do things back then, they couldn't just film it and edit it the way they do nowadays in a day. That took weeks to do. So her letter had nothing to do with it, nothing whatsoever. But just the fact that she recounted it, I almost feel like Katie Couric when Katie Couric said, would you do it again? Because there might be somebody out. I almost feel like she wanted to say, because there might be somebody out there who hasn't heard it. And not to mention, that every question that these ladies got had been pre-approved. Every time they do any kind of an interview or a panel like this, these ladies know exactly what they're going to say.
Well, usually, I agree. Most of the time, yeah. It's not all. I've been on panels that you don't, but this one, this high level, I would not be surprised if the questions weren't all submitted to their PR people. Yeah.
Yep.
So it is look, it's troubling, man. And there's more. She's exploiting Uvalde victims. We're going to get into that next with P. Dinah.
Yes.
We got so much more. I got so much to report on. I think we're going to have both of these come out today. I've been banking stuff. It's the day I recorded this yesterday, but so much coming out that just exposes this woman for what she is and why we're so against her. It's so manipulative. There's so much mistruth. Honestly, I'm just thinking about that. I don't want to get into politics, but I'm seeing it all over too. That the what's her name? Katie Britt, who's out there trying to use amplifying this story, and oh well, she misspoke, or no, she lied, and thankfully now the media's starting to call it out a little bit, and it doesn't matter your side. We gotta call out blatant lies and hypocrisy from people who are spinning a narrative that's not true, even if there's some truths to what they're trying to, broader things that may be true. Meghan is trying once again to put herself into this special place and a feminist
victim.
icon since 11. And it's bull. It is bull crap. And Katie Couric and everyone's out there just continuing to spill it. People Magazine, everybody putting this story out there like, oh, how bravo, Meghan, no, you're a fraud. And even that I could find, like, Hollywood's all fake, right, Sue? Fine. I could get into that. I could forgive that if she was still talking to her father, who clearly amplified all this. The fact that she's still to this day cashing in on this story while cutting off her father and making him dead to her, while Harry's racist father is still getting support, is baffling to me. Baffling when the more and more you learn about Thomas Markle and how much he supported this woman and created who she is, and she cannot take a time to check on him after a stroke. Shameful. In fact, I'm going to try to reach out to Thomas Markle Jr. Let's see if we can get him back on. Or I'll check in. He's got a channel too.
Yes.
I'd love to try to get some more definitive fact checking on this. But there you have it, Sue. Lovely as always to have you for bringing this up. Make sure you guys support Sue Smith Longsally over on YouTube. Give her some views. They're screwing over there. YouTube sucks and does not give her a fair treatment. So please go give her multiple views. Get her numbers back up. And I appreciate you, Sue, as always. Guys, make sure to subscribe there, subscribe here, hit the button, hit the bell, hit the thumbs up as well, will ya? And leave a comment down below. Are you surprised by this? I'm sure you're not. But what do you think? Does it anger you as much as it angers me? Let us know. Stay tuned for more. And thank you guys so much for watching here on Popcorn Palace.